just finger gunned me right into the parking lot. I said, "Oh, okay, so this is how it's
Coco
going."
was a solid backup. Chris has been shitting on Coco all year.
God, this guy
I'm
Coco Giants.
look,
You're
I'm
gonna
riding
put him
that
in
Coco
double-digit
bandwagon
goals.
all year.
He couldn't even get off the plane properly. He got hurt right off the
But yet,
off the
but yet
steps.
you're making love videos for Robbie
No
Robinson.
question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 41 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada. Alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD, Chris Duran himself. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great, baby. It's Wu-Tang Wednesday. It's Ted
Ooh,
Lasso
Wednesday.
Wednesday, right?
Ooh, I forgot about that. Ted Lasso is back.
I mean, I haven't watched it, right? Because that's a little family thing, and it's been the sun is coming down later. Shit's all crazy. I haven't gotten to watch it, but it is a Ted Lasso Wednesday as well. So Wednesdays are cool now.
All right, and then we're coming off our first loss, but we have another game in the frigid cold up in Canada coming up against Toronto FC. So we have a very special guest. We got my man Italy Jet of Let's Talk Sports. He is a big Toronto FC fan. Used to have a Toronto podcast, and he joins us now to talk a little Toronto. How you doing, Italy?
I'm doing well. Great to be here. I'm excited for this weekend. Excited for Jets and TFC, and we'll see what happens this weekend, man. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously, we're gonna start getting into this, but real quick to get into it with you, I see that you're rocking a nice little hat there from a championship season 2017, and I also see that you have a very familiar name back there in the back corner. Who is that I see in the back over there?
A little Pozuelo action.
There you go. Yeah, one of my friends actually got that for me. He was in Canada, and he got it from the Toronto FC shop. He's one of my favorite players, and he also got me Insigne as well, and I love those guys. And I was heartbroken when he left, but I get it. So it is what it is.
That was actually my next question is how did you feel once he came to Miami? Like, I never really got to talk to anybody from Toronto when that move happened. Like, we're heartbroken that he left now, but you had him for a while. So how did you feel when he left?
Listen, we're both basically scorned girlfriends here because he left the both of us, right?
Yeah, exactly. 2 X's now in the rearview mirror. You know what? I was really upset. I know we all were upset as well, but we understood. I mean, we were going in a different direction, and our GM was just awful. It was going in not a good direction. So I understand why he got traded. And I understand why that happened. Unfortunately, he had a great seasons with us, MVP 1 year, and now I'm like, okay. He went to Inter. He did okay, but now he's in Turkey now. Wish him the best of luck. But yeah, I could speak for all Toronto FC fans and me that we were upset.
Now, he left because you had an influx of Italians, right? I'm sure you loved it, right? You're Italian. So we had the influx of Italians.
Yes.
Let's start talking about this season. Insigne hasn't played the last 2 games. What's going on with him?
So he will be out 3 to 4 weeks, as we know. His first scan was not that didn't really show up all the way on his leg, and now they're getting a second opinion now, and it looks like now he's still going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So that's what Bob Bradley said last week and this week. So now it's a waiting game to see when he comes back. Now, remember, as we all know, when Signe came to Toronto, he still had that injury right there. It wasn't 100%. Yeah. So we're thinking maybe that he, re-injured it again, and it's just more headache on that left side.
Well, and I'll tell you this much, as far as a fan looking from the outside at Toronto, I've always been scared of that team. The moment that they got Insigne and Bernardeschi, and in the beginning of the season, I really thought that Toronto was going to be on another level, like entering into a completely different chamber.
Yeah.
And so I see he goes down. I think it was the first game, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm
yes, sir.
that is not a good look for Toronto, my friend.
It is not, because it's one of those things where, as Toronto FC fans and a content creator as I am, when one of those guys goes down, Bernadeschi or Insigne, it's not going to be good. One of them has to take on that 10 role, just like Bernadeschi has been doing, but you need a co-pilot. And that one, it's not good right now. So Bernadeschi has to work overtime.
Well, now that you brought up Bernadeschi, he had some comments after Saturday's loss. Or no, I'm sorry, after Saturday's draw. He had some comments. Some people are thinking that maybe he was going at Bradley indirectly, talking about he didn't like the style of play. What's going on with Bernadeschi?
You know what? I think he's unhappy on both levels. I think he's unhappy with the coaching. I think he's unhappy with this team. We've had a very slow start. This was exactly the same thing as what happened last year. We had a slow start, and it just got worse for us until Bernadeschi and Sidney kind of gave us life at the end of last year. Now, Bernadeschi is frustrated, and rightfully so. He is definitely, I think, going after Bob. I think he's definitely going after his players to pick it up, to get going, because we're facing it's you guys, and you guys are 2-1, correct? 2-1. I mean, you're a tough team. You're a tough team to play against, and we are desperate. We're desperate for points right now.
And a lot of people took it as maybe he wants out, but I see it more as he's trying to fire everybody up.
Exactly. Right? That's exactly what it is. It's just a firing up. He is frustrated. He did come from Champions League football, with Juventus. He played on a good team. Now they got their own issues, but now it's he went from that to MLS, and he's at a kind of a young age. He's only in his late 30s. I'm sorry, late 20s.
Late 20s.
No, it's 29.
He's 28.
It's 29, 29, something like that. So for MLS, you're looking at anywhere between 31 and maybe 35 people that come to MLS, especially from Italy. I think now people are even saying, did he come young? Does he not like the situation anymore?
Maybe it feels like he's blowing away at his
opportunities,
but opportunities he has out overseas.
And I really don't. I understand people would say that, and I understand people would go there, but I still think he loves this team. I think he loves the culture. I just think he knows what this team is capable of, and that's why I think he's frustrated. But I saw this coming. I'm gonna be honest. I saw this coming because Bob doesn't. He's so frustrating. I talk about this to my friends all the time. He doesn't. He's always set in his ways, and he doesn't change things up. And finally, he kind of changed things up a little bit this last game. But I knew once this thing was happening, Insigne and Bernadeschi were going to change some things. And I am not shocked that he felt like this.
Well, and it's crazy because you got Insigne and Bernadeschi that they basically were given the keys to the kingdom.
Yes.
Right? Or Bernadeschi,
thank you, Steve.
Capacito says Bernadeschi. Listen,
Bernadeschi,
Bernadeschi.
Hey, it happens. I'm not good with names too, Chris. I totally understand.
and so these guys were given the keys to the kingdom, right?
Yes.
And I gotta imagine that they appreciate it. But at some point, you do have to show some frustration, and it may be like what you said, that they're basically trying to plead for help or just kind of pump everybody up. I can totally get that.
And also, it's one of those things too where our bench doesn't have that great a depth. We got young players on the bench, but except like maybe Vasquez, McNaughton, and O'Neal, and maybe our backup goalie and Romero. So those guys aren't they're getting up their late 20s, 30s, but the rest of it is very young. And now we're out 2 strikers. So I totally understand they need to pump up this team the way it's been.
Bob Bradley gets a lot of shit.
He does 24/7. That man is always trending.
People have wanted him out for a while, but it seems like I don't think they're going to fire him mid-season, right? They have a lot of respect for his son because Michael Bradley has been a foundational piece in Toronto. So because of that, I think they'll keep him for the whole season. Well, what are Toronto FC fans saying about Bob Bradley?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing what's been happening since last year. He's set in his ways. He's not changing things up. He's not making things happy. A lot of them want him gone, but a lot of them are kind of waiting to see what happens because of the pieces that we have been bringing in. And it's going to get to mid-season that we might be calling for his name. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, like you said, Daniel, because of Michael Bradley. And I know Bob's got a great history. I'm not knocking on his history. He's a great head coach, but if we don't turn it around, it's going to be interesting.
And Michael Bradley, I mean, is he going to stick around if he's gone? I mean, you might get the double-edged sword right there.
I mean, if Vasquez came back, Vasquez, if he came back, I mean, then Bradley might be here in another year or two. But I definitely think he's running out of time. I think we should have at least let him go a year or two ago. But I mean, now that Bob's here, it's like, oh, okay, you're a legend, but what are you gonna do?
Well, and it's weird because like me as like this new soccer fan, I think of Michael Bradley. And I'm like, oh, this is that guy that played for the USA. But he's not really that guy. Like he's
not
just
that guy anymore.
A guy.
Not anymore.
He's not
anymore. Not anymore. But like to me, I'm like, ooh, Michael Bradley.
And Chris, you bring up some great points. He was the dog. He was a dog. Yeah. He was so good. But now it's like he's getting a little bit older. He's not that guy what he used to be. I mean, we put him on defense last year, for crying out loud. So and now he's back in the midfield now, and I mean, because we updated the defense, so I'm happy with that. But I think honestly, Bob's here, and I think he's just a legend, and I think it's because he's just a great veteran to have on the team, and I think that's why they're not letting him go yet.
Listen, to me, what stands out, what's important. Okay, and we're talking about important stuff here. Okay, and I need to know what Michael Bradley's rating is in FIFA. Okay, because that tells me everything. Because I am a FIFA guy, and it says he's a 70, right? He's like a silver. All right, that's not bad, Danny. I'll take a silver Michael Bradley any day of the week.
Look, he's a 70, but he's in his mid-30s now. Like he's slow. I'm not sure. I every time that it's a new season, I don't necessarily keep up with Toronto, but I check to see if Michael Bradley's still there. And every year I'm surprised that he's still there.
He is still there.
But I guess you could do worse. So we're 3 games into the season.
Yes.
And just to put things in perspective, before we start talking about this season, we're 3 games into the season. But if you count the last 13 games going into last season, you guys haven't won a game since August 27th, I want to say, against Charlotte. So it's the last 13 games, no wins, 4 draws, 9 losses. Goal differential of -18. So you guys have basically been booty cheeks. How has this season looked so far, the first 3 weeks?
I guess I'll just repeat what you've said, booty cheeks. It's just, we improved in some areas, but we didn't improve in the main ones. We didn't get a backup striker, and our midfield is so thin. We updated the goalie, we updated the defense, and we just got it's right here, Christian Gutierrez off waivers from Vancouver. That's going to boost a little bit for us, but at the end of the day, we're still thin at mid and forward. I mean, like we're going to talk about Kerr. Kerr is DeAndre Kerr, and he is going to be our starter again. I really do believe that, but it's thin. It's just thin. The depth is not there, and that needs to change. So if I'm going to go, you said booty cheeks. It's because of the depth. It's the depth.
Well, and there's a question here from one of the viewers, but I just want to go over something while you kind of sort of ponder on the question that I just put on the screen. In the last 3 games, they lost to DC United 3-2, which I saw that game, and it was actually a little more competitive than I anticipated.
Yes.
And then you have Atlanta United, they tied with them, and then they tied with Columbus Crew, which is actually surprising because Columbus Crew is actually on the bottom, no, Danny? and I anticipated
Columbus Crew's
Columbus Crew to, yeah, and Columbus Crew's good, and they stuck around and tied the game, with Columbus Crew. But like Steve Munoz asked here, he wants to know if you could bring any Italian player from Serie A to join Toronto, who would you pick? Now, I mean, again, I watch MLS. I know about the Premier League. That's about all it goes with my soccer encyclopedia.
That's okay.
Who would you go with in Serie A to join Toronto? Because I guess we're just out there just handpicking Italians to come over here.
I mean, dude, when he said Italy FC, I died, and my wife was like, "What are you laughing about now?" I'm like, nothing, baby. You won't understand. But you know what? We've had a great reputation of bringing in Italian talent. I mean, look at Sebastian Giovinco, and then we bring in Signe and Bernardeschi, and then we have another Italian on that back left, Paquata, something like that. But overall, if I had to pick a guy to bring back, I'm gonna give you two. I want Gio to come back. Okay, that would be great.
Where is he right now? Do you know where he is right now?
Okay, so he is actually working at the academy in Toronto at Juventus. He's one of the coaches there, and that's it. That's what he's doing right now. But overall, Giovinco, yes, in the academy in Toronto for Juventus. They got an academy there, and that's what he's doing right now. For now, I don't know if it's going to be something long term. I heard it was short term, so we'll see what happens. But I would bring him back. That would be amazing. I think all of us TFC fans want that. But overall, I'm looking at the midfield depth. We need midfielders, and I want Tonali from AC Milan. That would be wonderful. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But Tonali, I would love to get Tonali.
That's wild. I can't believe what you just said about Giovinco. Can't believe what you just said about Giovinco. All right, so you're not getting Giovinco anytime soon, but you did get a couple new acquisitions. I know you guys got Sean Johnson. Any new acquisitions that we should know about and prepare for this coming weekend?
Things have been quiet. I know we're trying to work around getting things in the forward and midfield depth, but right now I can only see us signing maybe a couple people off waivers. But
nobody this past offseason outside of Sean Johnson that's of worth mentioning.
Oh, I thought you meant just like this week. Are you talking about the offseason or this week?
Yeah, over the offseason.
Oh,
over the offseason.
Well, like I said, we really updated our defense, and once they start clicking, you got Hedges, and then you have it's the Norwegian guy, Rosted. He's a good pickup too. I like him a lot. And then Paquata, I think he's going to do good. And I just think we improved our goalkeeping as well. We got the goalkeeper from LAFC
Sean Johnson
as well. Well, Sean Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. We got another guy too. He's from LAFC. Okay. I think it's Romero, I think, and I liked him a lot. But overall, I like what the defense is going to do. It's just we just need to get it together up there. But overall, starting lineup is good, but our midfield and bench people need to get.
Yeah, because from everything my understanding so far this year, your midfield has looked really weak.
Exactly.
And up front, you guys are struggling to score. And I was looking at the stats, right? And first game, DC got 10 shots off on you guys. Atlanta got 17 shots off on you guys. And Columbus 16 shots off. So they're finding holes and creating opportunities to take shots. Shots on target, maybe not. But they're finding areas to find shots. So like you said, maybe you guys updated and it's just going to take some time to gel. But as of right now, it's a work in progress from what I'm seeing.
Well, and Danny, the thing is, if you really think about it, I mean, we just had a big player in Gregory go down, right? Yeah. So you think, okay, we're getting shot. There's a lot of people getting shots off against them, but it kind of starts and ends in the midfield. No, I mean, they got to get there. I think they got to get up to the box at some point. And so if they're letting off shots against Toronto FC, I imagine that. everything lends credence to what Italy's saying about the midfield being kind of suspect. Because if the midfield's suspect, then everybody's just weaving webs around them and letting off shots.
But our midfield is going to be suspect also because Gregory's out. We don't know who's going to replace Malta because he's going to take Gregory's spot.
We're going to have a janitor out there.
And on the final third, we have Joseph, but we haven't really been playing very well on that final third either. So I'm not going to say that we look great either, but we have striker issues because Campana's out. I know you guys have 2 strikers out at the moment also, but DeAndre Kerr came on, and DeAndre Kerr had a beautiful goal. I don't know if anybody's seen it. If you haven't, go watch the recap of the game last week. He brought it across, megged some guy. It was just a beautiful goal, and I believe that was his first start of the season, right? That's the first appearance, I want to say, in the season.
That is correct, sir.
So is he going to be the striker from here on out?
You know, as Bob Bradley said in his press conference, I think he's going to take it day by day. Week by week. If he does good this weekend, I mean, I could see him staying there. If he doesn't show up and doesn't do anything, I could see him being subbed out. The reason why Kerr got subbed out last time is because of the fitness issues, because he hasn't been consistently getting playing time. So I think he'll be a little bit more there this time. I honestly can see him scoring again. I really can. But it's a fitness thing right now, and he's young, and we don't got any other options.
That's a great point right there.
I mean, at this point, you're either bringing that guy in, or you're going with the NYCFC steel status and bringing in janitors. You know,
or we'll bring up an academy player. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Javenko to come off.
As a matter of fact, one of the guys listening, Alpha, has a question. What has happened to the development academy teams in Toronto? Looks like TFC is behind. So, I
disagree, actually. I think our academy is actually doing pretty good. It's just we just have handled our academy not that great. Our academy, as they come up to be professionals, it's not been that great in handling them well because of coaching. But I mean, our academy has won championships. They're doing really well every year, and I'm actually love our academy. It's just every time when they come up to Toronto FC, we either play them in the wrong positions or we play them, but they just not buying into what Bob or our previous coach has done, and then they go on loan, and then they come back, and then they go to Europe or they go somewhere else. So it just depends on each academy player. But I love our academy. I think it's going to continue to flourish.
And DeAndre Kerr comes from your academy, doesn't he?
That is correct, sir.
Yeah. So if he pans out, that's another player that gets attributed to your academy, because DeAndre Kerr, from the 60 minutes I got to watch him, he looks like he's a stud.
He is a stud. I love the quickness he has. I love his speed, his ball skills, his thinking every time when he's matching up with Bernadeschi. I think they complement each other really well. I'm just really worried about Osario and Kay, because they're not linking up right now. But if he can continue to link up with Bernadeschi, I think it's going to be okay.
All right, so let's get into the game. We got a game on Saturday, big game for us, but probably bigger game for you because, I mean, you guys got 2 points first 3 games. If you guys lose, I mean, you guys are putting yourself in a big hole, more frustration for Bernadeschi. So I think it's almost, I don't want to say a must-win 4 games into the season, but I think it's a lot riding on you guys. So let's get into the game. First things first, weather conditions. I know it was cold as shit last week. And my understanding is going to be even colder this coming Saturday. Have you heard anything about the weather conditions coming into that game?
You know, it's just going to continue to get bad weather. And I know it snowed as well a couple weeks ago and last week, but it died down though. But I think it's still going to be cold as shit. I really do think it will be. And everyone's got to be ready. Everyone's got to be ready for that.
Well, but I'll tell you this much. There's one thing in common that Inter Miami has with Toronto, and that's that Toronto has a goalkeeper named Sean Johnson. And him, just like us, we're leaving New York to go play in Toronto finally on a freaking soccer field. So weather conditions or not, it's actually going to be on a soccer field instead of a baseball field. What a
Yankee
disaster.
Stadium. That's right. Yankee Stadium. That's right.
Well, put some respect on Sean Johnson's name. Sean Johnson's a monster.
He's awesome.
He is a monster, but like I said, at least like him, we're leaving New York, we're going to Toronto, and we're actually playing on a damn soccer field, on a pitch. Sorry.
Pitch.
All right, so let's go. If you were to put on an Inter Miami hat on and you say, okay, this is what you guys need to worry about as far as Toronto, what is your strength? What should Inter Miami be worried about when it comes to Toronto FC?
I think they need to worry about Lorea and Kay. They have not been showing up these first two games. The third game, they showed up. They were all over the field making great passes. I think Kay and Cervinia was really great. They complement each other really well. And Kerr and Bernadeschi. You always have to worry about Bernadeschi. But Kerr, he scored a goal. He's going to be looking to get more fitness now. And Bernadeschi's pissed. He's pissed, and rightfully so. I think he's going to come out and hopefully set a statement. But you can get past their defense. You can get past their defense for right now until they get it together.
We're gonna get some shots off.
Yeah, but you always got to worry about Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson is a wall, and if you can get past him, that's awesome. But he's probably one of the best goalies in the league.
Historically, though, Joseph has had a lot of success against Sean Johnson. So I'm hoping that Joseph can finally put one through on Saturday, because Joseph has had success against NYCFC and Sean Johnson between the sticks.
And let me tell you, not only is that coming, but Bernard Douchebag is also going to be facing Drake Callender, our wall. Yeah. So it's going to be a wrap for him. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a blasting from Bernard Douchebag. That I think he's gonna score I think he's gonna have a showing like 2 goals or something like that.
Bernadeschi, Toronto scored 4 goals so far this season. Bernadeschi has 2 of them. Exactly. So he's basically he's
carrying the team.
He's carrying the team. He's carrying them to 2 whole points.
Exactly. He is, and you always got to look out for him, because when he's pissed, he's gonna go on a rampage. He's a great free kick specialist as well, and he knows how to dish the ball really well as well.
So if you were trying to make us feel better, why is Miami going to win this game? Why is Miami, like, if you were going to put money on the game, should we put money on the game towards Miami?
I'm putting the house in Italy. So if I lose my house, it's on you. And you're finding me a house out there.
Why is Miami going to win this game?
Well, good thing I'm not from Toronto, so good luck with that. You know what? We're desperate. We're a desperate team. We have a thin bench. We lost one of our best players. We are desperate for 3 points, and we're mad, and everyone's frustrated. I would definitely pick Inter Miami, because you guys have been good. You guys are consistent. You've had injuries that have sucked. You're losing your captain as well, but you guys will get some shots on goal because of the history you have with Sean Johnson. And I mean, do you guys play really good in cold weather? Are you guys pretty good in cold weather? No. Okay. Well,
there are a bunch of South Americans.
Yeah. But I think
we're not built for that.
Well, I overall though, I would still put in Inter Miami there, because we're just desperate. We could crumble at any minute now. And you guys already won 2 games already. So
yeah. So then what's your prediction, Italy? So let's put some numbers on here.
Let's go
with some concrete numbers. Give me a prediction, and let me know who you think's gonna win and what the score is gonna be.
Okay, I am really, really think this is going to be a good game. I really do think this is going to be a good game. We have a lot of fire on TFC, and Inter Miami is going to continue their good ways of what they're doing. I think you guys are going to win 3-2. I really do think you guys are going to win 3-2.
Wait, you think you're gonna put 2 on Drake Callender?
Fuck Canada.
Come on now. Oh damn.
You're not putting 2 on Drake. Come on now.
Hey, you know what? I think Bernadeschi is gonna get those 2 goals though. I really do think he is.
Okay, so you think he's coming out for a statement after those comments last week? I mean, I guess
I really do. I really do. I mean, he's done it before. When he's pissed, next game he's good. He's done it before last year, and I hope he does it again this year.
Well, and Danny, I was going to follow Italy by saying the same thing. If I was to come with a prediction, I do think Inter Miami is going to win. They're going to walk away with the dub. Finally getting on a soccer pitch. Now, again, I think that Bernard douchebag is going to land 2 on the back of the net. But I do think that we're going to win 3-2. And I feel like this may be a coming out party for Joseph Martinez. Hopefully he can bang in 2 goals before halftime.
What is
so
up
that
with
way
that? What is up with that?
Yeah.
What's going on with it?
Well, I think what's happening is that the team was a little accustomed to playing. I don't know, because it seems like Joseph doesn't want to make the cut behind the defense to be able to get the through balls. I mean, I don't know, Danny. What do you think?
We set up all of preseason getting ready to play the 4-4-2 with 2 strikers up top. Campana and Joseph were supposed to work off of each other, right? Campana was going to get some attention, give Joseph some space to run behind. Once Campana went down before the first game of the season, it's kind of like just calling an audible. We started playing the 4-2-3-1, and it's been really hard to find Joseph down the middle. I don't know why they've had such a hard time finding him. Last week, we finally found him a few times. He had a couple good opportunities against NYCFC. It's the first time he played a full 90 minutes. So, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that in 24-degree weather this Saturday, but I am feeling more optimistic. I think he's finally starting to get his legs under him. To play a full 90 for the first time, that's a good sign to me. I don't know if he'll play 90 again, but I think it's a good sign. But it's a good sign, though. It's a positive sign that he's getting his legs under him. He finally had some good opportunities. I wish he would have landed some of them. I think that he might get on the board this game. And I think that's what's going on with him, though. It's been tough. And for some reason, we're playing the ball through the air to him. And he's like 5'7". Like, we were trying to get him the ball.
Vertically challenged.
Like, come on. You have to find him with some good through balls or something. You can't find him over the top. Like, even though he's got quite a few heading goals, but like, it's not the way to find Joseph. So go ahead, Chris. You were going on with your prediction.
Yeah, my prediction, like I said, I think it's going to be 3-2 Inter Miami. They got to stop lobbing.
Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you? You also think that they're going to put 2 goals on Drake?
Yeah, I think that they're going to.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. We've gone 3 weeks. We played against Philadelphia, the best offense in the league, and we are yet to surrender a goal against an opposing team. The only goal we surrendered was an own goal. And you think that
but the thing is,
as you like to call him, is going to put 2 on us?
Listen, the problem here is that there's like magic in sports, right? And so what happens is Bernard douchebag ends up putting these comments out into the world. Like, that's either going to come back one of 2 ways. Either he's going to play like complete trash, or he's scoring 2 goals, right?
Well, now, there we go. Richard Greenberg is my guy. That is my guy. He is a Toronto FC fan, but he said Inter Miami will win 2-0.
Hey,
suck on that, Chris.
Good for him. Good for him.
Good for you, Greenberg. You're delusional. Get out of here.
Delusional? Why? Again, nobody has scored on us.
Look, I'm not saying
Toronto's deficiencies are scoring goals.
Well, but you and I spoke about this, and if there's any players that can be able to just blast off from any space in the field, it's Insigne and
very cold.
Douchebag.
Very cold.
And so you're talking about
the cold weather is what has me worried. I will admit that.
I mean, so what? What do you think it's going to be, like 0-0? Get out of here, Danny.
No, I think it's
not even a good prediction. Oh, of course you think you're. What's the score then, Poppy?
I didn't predict the win last week.
I'm not just Lucas for you.
Well, Lucas says I smell a draw, sadly, but he thinks Toronto don't sleep on Toronto. We stink away from a DRV.
This is the thing. This is the thing about this game. I think it's going to be very telling on where this team is. Last season, we were horrible away from home. A road team, we were horrible. The way we started this year, I was happy, but I was like, but I need us to play well on the road. We didn't win against NYCFC, but we beat ourselves. Okay, we scored on ourselves. NYCFC didn't really do much, right? Even though Drake had a lot of saves and Drake kept us in the game, I'm not too worried on Toronto scoring on us. I'm really not. I don't think Toronto. I think that's their deficiency. Unless DeAndre Kerr ends up just becoming the man game 2, I don't see that happening. Bernadeschi is obviously has the potential of scoring, but you know what? I got my money on Drake. I think Bernadeschi is going to be frustrated again, and I see us winning 1-0. I think we're going to pull off. Joseph's going to get his first goal, and then we're going to play Neville ball. We'll go 5 in the back. We'll bring in Robert Saylor. We're going to put McVeigh, Saylor, and Sergi with Negri and Yedlin. Play those 5 in the back, and we're just going to defend. And we're just going to just drag out a 1-0 victory.
That sounds disturbing. That sounds terrible. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like the most miserable soccer I'm going to watch for the last 25 minutes of the game.
For sure. It's going to be boring, but it's going to be a W. I really see us winning 1-0, and it'll be wild to go 4 games without allowing the opposition to score on us. But I really do think it's going to happen more than anything because, like Italy said, Toronto in the last third hasn't looked great. They've scored 4 goals all year. One of them has been a penalty.
Yeah.
DeAndre Kerr, Bernadeschi, and I forgot who the third person that scored this year was. They don't scare me. They really don't.
Can I, Richard in the chat? You're a TFC fan. Do you know what? I last I said, Juventus. He was one of the academy coaches doing something with that. Can you confirm that for me? What Sebastian Giovinco is doing? Yeah, Giovinco. If you can confirm that, that'd be great. But overall,
yeah, go ahead. You were saying Italy.
I mean, I'm only going by my gut, like we all do, right? We're all going by our gut on what I think is gonna happen, and I could totally see Inter either blowing us away or it's gonna be a good game. You guys aren't good in the cold. We have a chip on our back to get our first win. We're
not good on the road, period.
Listen,
and we need 3 points.
And not only that, but like what Lucas mentioned, Sergey was born in a freezer. This guy was born he was born in like one of those Avatar containers in the middle of the frozen tundra. So he is super ready. But that is a comment that I wanted to show, which is Steve Munoz mentioning that the loss with Gregory is going to be felt. So that's why.
Now that we brought up the Gregory,
here we go. I was right. Here we go.
He was working with the academy.
I was right.
Yeah, I can't believe Giovinco was working with their academy, man. I can't. He was such a.
That's what I thought.
He was such a baller. Like, how is this guy not playing?
Well, he went to Asia. He went to Asia. He won the AFC Champions League. I think maybe that was it for him. He went to Stamportia. Back in Serie A. Maybe that was it.
That's wild. He's still young. I can't believe that.
Danny, this is crazy, man. You got everybody thinking that we're kissing sisters out here. I mean, this is insane. Everybody is thinking that we're walking away with a draw. Like, what's going on here?
Look, let's be clear. Everybody thought we were going to lose to Philly. Everybody thought we were going to wipe the floor with NYCFC. So everybody seems to be wrong. So I'm not saying that I'm right because I also got last week's wrong, but I'm just saying, just because everybody thinks one way doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Now, I do understand that Gregory's loss is huge. It is huge, and that does worry me a little bit, right? But again, it's because it's Toronto is why I'm not too worried. If it would have been Philadelphia that we were playing against, okay, yeah, we're probably taking the L. But I'm not too worried about Toronto. Now that we're on the subject, Chris, what is our lineup going to look like on Sunday? I'm sorry, Saturday.
Listen, on Saturday, it's like we talked about earlier in the week, right? I really think that Mota is going to move back and he's going to play more of a CDM role. And I think that this is going to be just like what I think it was Steve Munoz that mentioned it, that this is going to be a coming out party for Duke.
Okay, so you think Duke gets to start?
Oh no, that was Lucas. That was Lucas that mentioned that. He smells a Duke masterclass performance if he starts. So I totally agree with Duke starting. I mean, the only other thing that I could see happening is that Taylor starts.
Well, I think there's a chance that because Gregory's gone, Mota moves back. I think there's a chance that Taylor takes Mota's or Gregory's spot technically in the starting lineup, right? Even though Mota's going to be playing the 6.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that there's a really good chance, just because I saw Bryce Duke come in so early last game, that Bryce Duke will play the 10 and that Stefanelli will come off the bench. I have a feeling that might happen. I have my fingers crossed that it will happen because Stefanelli is just a cardio machine. Like, he just runs up and down the field.
He's just
he really makes no difference. And Italy's gonna see this guy that's just randomly running around but not making any impact on the game at all. And you'll spot him because you'll be like, "Oh, who the hell was that guy? I hadn't seen him before."
Right.
And that's Stefanelli. So I really hope that Duke comes in and that's just my hope. So we're coming to a close. So if anybody has any questions for Italy, Jack, ask them now before we go. Oh, there we got one right now.
Well, Lucas is asking, how big is the Italy fan presence in Toronto? Now, me just geographically thinking about it, I mean, there's a bunch of people that are French, in Canada. I mean, Toronto's more of a city-ish. It's not out in the West Coast. It's on the East Side. So maybe there is a prevalent sort of Italian fan base. So how big is the presence there?
I think I'm only going by what I see and all my friends that live in Toronto as well and that live in Canada because they are Italian as well. I think it's pretty big there. I mean, little Italy, it's huge. It's one of the best places not only to live if you're Italian in Toronto. The privacy that Bernardeschi, Insigne, and Giovinco have said over the years that they feel at home. They don't, not a lot of Italians or anyone there like give them a hard time for like autographs or pictures. That it's very comfortable. It's a big presence there, and there is a difference between Canadian Italians and Italian Americans. And I think I like Toronto FC's community a lot because it's a foundation and the food and everything. I think the Italian culture there is amazing, and it's just only going to get better.
Well, Richard Greenberg gave a great analogy.
Yes, he did.
He said Italians in Toronto are like Cubans in Miami. That paints a very vivid picture.
Well, and I'll tell you this much. Now I know why Italy was talking about Serie A and why Toronto is out in Italy just sort of picking cherries out of Italian players. Because, I mean, what are you going to do? All right. I mean, if you're going to win your local fan base over, you might as well hop on a plane and get over to Italy and just take everybody you can.
Look, if there was a Cuban player that all of a sudden blew up, I promise you, Inter Miami might look into getting him because that stadium would be rocking for a Cuban American.
Yeah. I also wanted to see what formation do you guys think you guys are going to do against us?
Well, I saw somebody put up here, Alpha put up that he's wondering if it's going to be the 4-1-3-2. I don't think we're going to go two strikers. I'd be surprised. I think we go with the same formation we've been going. I think it's a 4-2-3-1. I think Mota and then Robert Taylor drop back there, but Taylor we play more the 8 role, dropping a little further back. And we're going to have Pizarro out on the wing. If, let's say hypothetically, let's say Stefanelli still starts, I think they might start Stefanelli out in the wing, and they might put Pizarro at the 10.
Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree with that move better than Stefanelli at this point.
Yeah, so
Stefanelli hasn't. What has Stefanelli done?
But Stefanelli brings speed. He's like another Lassiter, right? Because you think of Lassiter, he brings that energy. He's gonna get the ball up. He's gonna be dangerous. And okay, Solana said a 5-3-2. I could see
that too because
I could see that.
I could see that because that is more Phil Neville style. Bring everybody in, make that fence solid, right? But then it's like, we're just gonna be playing defense all game. Like, come on, man! Like, come on, man! Get out of here!
I just saw this comment by by Steve Munoz, and I think that is a great comparison. Stefanelli
Yes.
is Vasilev on steroids. I could definitely see that. Vasilev was booty cheeks, and Stefanelli is trending that way, just with a lot more speed.
Listen,
Stefanelli's
and Lucas is telling me I need to chill out. Maybe I'm going a little too Coco Jean on Stefanelli. So I'll put the brakes on.
You're entitled to your own opinion. That's totally fine. I think we're gonna do a 4-3-3. We've been doing a 4-2-3-1 before. We did that a lot last year, but this year this game I think we're gonna do the same thing we did last game. Kerr's gonna start, and everyone else is gonna be. Yes, and I think everything is just gonna be the same. Bernadeschi on that right, Osario on that left. Cervinia is going to be on the left mid. In the middle, I think it's going to be Bradley. And then I think that back four, Larea, he's doing good. But let's see what happens. Kay is going to be there in the middle as well.
I think that's what kills you guys, though, because when you imagine a front three of Bernadeschi on the right, you have Kerr, which is looking so far good in the middle as a striker, and then on the left, Insigne. That would be lethal if you could have had those three. But that injury that's completely crumbled you. And it seems like you guys have been toying with the lineup since that happened, and it hasn't worked out.
We have. And that's why Osario is up there on the left. He's meant to be in that midfield role. And now, you got Sean Johnson, which I'm not worried about, but that defense is now a back four. So I liked it when we were in a back three, but now it's a back four. I don't know how Richard thinks about that, but we'll see what happens. That's what I think is going to happen, though.
Well, and I see here Steve Munoz just bringing up a golden point that Bernard Douchebag is going to go up against Negri. And that guy, if you've seen him, he is the Punisher in its human form.
Is, Negri goes up to help offensively a lot up that left flank. And he's been saved because Gregory drops back and fills that void when he's up there. With no Gregory, we're going to have to count on Mota having his head on right and helping a lot more defensively. So that's why I lean towards Daniel Solana's 5 in the back formation, because it's going to be a lot harder to play with Negri and Yedlin contributing in the offense if we only have 2 back there. And Mota, Mota gets excited to run up and take his midfield shots. So it definitely is going to be interesting to see how that works.
I guess we're getting ready for a sister kissing fiesta.
I'm not even sure what that means. What does that even mean?
Because you know how everybody says when you tie, it's like a brother and sister kissing.
No, I've never heard.
You never heard that? Oh, you're a wild bro. Listen, all of you guys in the chat, when you guys hear about ties, please tell me that I'm not a crazy person here when I say that there is a saying where a brother and sister that kiss is like a tie. That's like a legitimate saying in this world for like hundreds of years.
The chat has gone silent. For anybody on audio.
Listen.
Dude, you should just clip. Honestly, you should just clip me and Daniel's faces right now. You should just clip that.
You know what, you guys? What?
It's okay.
Oh,
it's okay.
Everybody's just sending shots at me. You know what? Get out of here,
Alabama
guys.
type reference? Look at this. There are people laughing at you. What is this? Where did you come up with this nonsense, Chris? What?
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
You mentioned it earlier. You know
what?
And I just bypassed it because I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. But I'm not even going to give it any time. But this is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know what the hell you are talking about.
All of you guys that are against me right now. All of you.
Calypso, what are you doing to me, sir? Calypso says he has heard of that before. I think Calypso might be from Middle America. So that makes more sense.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Wow.
You're wrong. That is a popular saying. I'm going to Google it later, and I'm going to show
Steve,
you.
You should see Steve's.
See this comment. You have to watch the YouTube video. I'm not going to repeat this for the audio.
And Richard too. Look at that.
Look at it, Chris. You're just getting killed now. This is it's ridiculous. I've never heard such a thing, and this is just another reason as to why I think ties in MLS should be done away with. No draws. That's something that I'm gonna die by.
Well, that's
No
what everybody
draws.
wants, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
All right, Chris, are you gonna ask your favorite picture question before we sign out? Because it's kind of your thing now. People like when you asked it.
All right, yeah, I'm done. I'm done getting cooked, Steve. I was cooking earlier, and now I guess it was my turn to get cooked. But now it's time to cook up this toast and this steak. So you need to make some selections here, Italy. You need to tell me which of the steaks you're picking and which of the toast you're picking.
Okay. No add-ons, just toast and steak, correct?
Just the steak and the toast.
Okay. All right.
What's Italy's preference out of these options?
Well, you all are gonna be shocked with this. I have stomach issues, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 are definitely out for me. I have to do 5.
You gotta eat the rubber.
I can tolerate. Only thing I can tolerate. But
just don't eat it then. Don't eat it.
Hold on. But I love a good number 6. I love me some 6. I love burnt.
No, what? That isn't burnt. Those are ashes.
Burnt? Hey, man.
So you're going with 6 on the toast.
There you go.
What the hell? Yo, Italy? Wow.
Hey, man.
Mind blown.
I'm built different. I'm built different.
If you can bite through number 6, your dental work is built different for sure.
I got these choppers, baby. Yeah. Let's go.
Jesus Christ. Richard Greenberg coming out strong for those Toronto fans, 4-3. That's more like it. That 5 and 6. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, Chris. I'm pretty sure we're never gonna get somebody to answer those two like that again.
Never. No, that's gonna be a first and probably a last. Yes.
My man Italy was acquired taste. Yeah.
Hey man, I got, like I said, I'm built different. Stomach issues. We'll see what happens, man.
Go ahead. Look, Solana is comparing you to Luis Suarez right there with your choppers.
Oh man, that's a bad one to be related to. But well, good for him. Right. Good for him.
So just to sum it up,
yes.
Italy said 3-2 Miami win. Chris said 3-2 Miami win. I say 1-0 Miami win. But regardless, all three of us agree Miami should come out with 3 points, which is all that really matters. We don't care how the pudding is made as long as it tastes good. And 3-0, that's all we care about. I'm sorry, 3 points is all we care about. Yes. Thank you, Italy, for joining us. Let the people know where they can catch you on a weekly basis, right?
Yes, I do. I do 9 to 15 shows a week, soccer content and football content. I'm on Let's Talk Sports, the NR Hour, and I have all my New York Jets podcasts I do as well. Growing every single day. Can't wait for MLS season to continue to grow. And I can't wait for the Jets season as well. But I'm Italy Jet on all social media platforms. That's me, guys.
Anything else for the people, Chris?
No, man, it was a pleasure. I know that you've been Italy. You were on a couple of other podcasts with Danny, and Manny. So I was able to catch those from a viewer's perspective, and it was definitely fun from the view and experiencing it now. It was awesome to have you on the show. A lot of fun, a lot more knowledge than I knew before about Toronto. So it was definitely a pleasure, man.
Shout out to Richard Greenberg also, because Richard Greenberg also brought the knowledge about Toronto. So
yeah.
Shout out to Richard Greenberg for tuning in.
Agreed. Thank you, Rich.
Italy, thank you again for joining. Just behind the scenes real quick, Italy and I have done a podcast together. I also do a New York Jets podcast. Just so you know, as soon as you mentioned Jets, I saw like the number of viewers started like dropping. And as I said Jets, it just dropped another one. So that's why I never bring up the Jets on this podcast.
Oh,
but it is what it is.
My bad.
All good. No. Fuck the Dolphins. I don't care.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you guys for listening all the way to the end. We appreciate you. And hopefully we get this W on Saturday. And we'll catch you again. Actually, this coming week, we're going to have a special Sunday episode because Chris lives this millionaire lifestyle where he's going to go on vacation for a week and a half out on a cruise in the middle of the Mediterranean or something. So we will be coming at you on Sunday at 9 o'clock instead of Mondays like we usually do. And next week on Wednesday with the Chicago podcaster. So thank you guys. This guy just killed me. Vamos, Mike White. Look at this guy. All right. Thank you guys. And we will catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Grazie.